What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Madonna. And we're going back to her 1989 album, Like a Prayer. And the next tune is Promise to Try. When I looked at it earlier, it made me laugh because it makes me think about Yoda saying that trying doesn't exist, which I philosophically disagree with. I think it's a necessary precondition of intentional deliberative action. Nevertheless, that aside, it suggests that it's important to somebody that another person makes the effort, tries to get something done, tries to achieve something, attempts to manifest whatever they're focusing on. So they don't seem to expect an outcome. It's not saying, promise to get it done or promise to deliver, but it's saying promise to try. Don't give up. Don't, shirk from maybe not your responsibility or obligation, but from this moral imperative, I suppose. Also, it might not be moral, but it feels like both emotional and perhaps ethical. So we'll see if that has anything to do with the actual song. This is Madonna, Promise to Try, from her 1986 album, 89 album, Like a Prayer.
Little girl, don't you forget her face, laughing away your tears when she was the one who felt all the pain. Little girl, never forget her eyes, keep them alive inside. I promise to try.
She sounds emotional while singing.
It's not the same. Keep your head held high, ride like the wind. Never look behind. Life isn't fair, that's what you said, so try not to care. Little girl, don't run away so fast. I think you forgot to kiss her goodbye. Will she see me cry when I stumble and fall? Does she hear my voice in the night when I call? Wipe away all your tears, it's gonna be alright. I fought to be so strong, I guess you knew I was afraid you'd go away too. Little girl, you've got to forget the past and learn to forgive me. I promise to try, but it feels like a lie. Don't let memory play games with your mind. She's a faded smile, frozen in time. I'm still hanging on, but doing it wrong. Can't kiss her goodbye, but I promise to try.
Absolutely beautiful tune. One of my favorites from her in the journey so far, and one that even as I began this deep dive, I was aware I had heard at least one or two later decade Madonna tunes. You know, I was aware that she was more than the synth pop 80s sound that she became internationally famous for. But I did not, you know, had you played this tune for me 6, 7 months ago before the Madonna deep dive started, I would have been stunned, shocked. Now, I've heard enough of her deep emotional songs as well as just sonic variety overall that I didn't find this terribly shocking, but it was absolutely stunning. The piano through the whole thing, the strings in just the right parts, the overall like intimate chamber music type feel, which is to say, you know, classical instruments, but not a full orchestral sound, a very small, you know, a handful of instruments type of setting. So really sweet and wonderful. My thoughts about what was happening evolved like multiple times, and I still don't really know. But at first, it sounded like maybe she's talking about a kid who felt the brunt of a divorce and was, you know, experiencing pain because there were problems with her parents, and she maybe had to say goodbye to one of them. But then I was thinking maybe one of her parents, her mom, might have died. And then maybe there was a disconnect emotionally in terms of the dad trying to help her cope with it, and then it sounded like, and then you were gone too, so I was like, oh wait, so is it about her growing up and losing both of her parents? And then I wondered, you know, it's not necessarily Madonna singing about a young version of herself, although that would be my inclination. It could be a hypothetical young girl, you know, the subject of the song, but not necessarily in that way that she's singing about herself, even though she's singing in the third person. But either way, by the end, I was like, I don't even know if that's it. Like, I feel like, you know, there may have been, you know, was it a painful domestic life at home for this girl? It wasn't so much that her parents were divorcing or they died, but maybe there was difficulties and there was, you know, then an inability to say goodbye to someone. So, I don't know, I sort of swing back maybe to the parents dying, and, you know, maybe particularly the mother. Maybe it could be like saying goodbye to your childhood as you get older, and but I don't know, the I promise to try part at the end, yeah, it sort of swung me back to the maybe, you know, you can't, you know, embrace someone who has passed away in that way, but you might still call out to them at night, which, you know, there was a line like that in the song. So still percolating, trying to figure it out. I'm sure people will comment, shout out in advance to those who help me understand the songs as we go through these deep dives. Admittedly, when I go listen to them, you know, after doing the reactions in headphones and oftentimes now armed with the comments that people have made, it is really great to then re-listen to the tunes, and it's like, oh, okay, so yeah, I hear that line now, and now it makes more sense. So I do appreciate all the assistance in that regard. And yeah, really sweet, beautiful tune. Her voice sounding lovely, as I mentioned, in the early part especially. And not to say that you can't get yourself to this place, even if you're not actually like, you know, crying or something, but she felt like emotional. It felt like the vocal delivery, especially in the early moments, was very saturated, but also like a bit tenuous, like it was, you know, trembling almost. So it seemed to fit the atmosphere of the tune very well, even if I'm not quite sure what that atmosphere describes. So in any case, let me know what you think of this one. I will see you next time. Peace.